Hello and welcome to your Macon-Bibb Beat. It's your one-stop shop for all your Macon-Bibb County news. I'm Frank Malloy. Each week we take you through what's happening in your neighborhood, from North Macon to South Bibb and everywhere in between. We begin this week, 3 people killed and several others injured in a mass shooting at a nightclub in Macon. That incident nearly doubled the number of homicides in Bibb County so far this entire year. Celine Arif tells us more about what happened.
Well, the crime scene tape's been rolled away from here, but I can tell you earlier in the morning, it was a very chaotic scene. A lot of people were here, including families of the victims. They were crying and hugging, and it was just a very emotional scene. And we do know that 2 of the victims who passed away were brothers. And the coroner says all families have been notified at this point. Some of the victims were taken to the hospital by ambulance and some were driven in personal cars. When we talked with the coroner around 3 a.m., he said one of the victims had just gotten out of surgery and another victim was getting ready to go into surgery. We also spoke with Sheriff David Davis, who says they're not saying it is or it isn't a drive-by shooting at this point because they're still investigating.
It's just a horrible thing to have happen, and you know, my heart goes out to all of the victims and their families, and our victims assistance unit will be following up with them, you know, to make sure that they get through this process.
As I say all the time, we keep on praying for this community. I mean, try not to cut that out, because that's what I do. I do every morning at 6 o'clock. But it's very unfortunate because we was doing so well.
Now the crime scene started getting cleared up here around 4 a.m. and the sheriff did tell us a couple years ago there was another violent shooting here, and he did say that the liquor license for that business was pulled at the time. The owners decided to shut down the business after that happened, and new owners bought the place and took it over. He said now, as part of their investigation, they will look into whether this new business will have their liquor license removed as well. Reporting in Macon, Celine Arif, 13 WMAZ News.
So far, no arrests have been made. Anybody with information in the case is asked to contact Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. The victims were 28-year-old Jadarius Meadows Jr., 32-year-old Javante Fawkes, and 24-year-old Javarcier Meadows. Kayla Sweeney went to Howard High School with Javarcier. Celine Arif spoke with her about how she is choosing to remember her friend.
Sunday's shooting was a hard day for victims' families. It was also a hard day for friends and classmates like Kayla Sweeney.
He told me happy birthday in March. My birthday was March 15th, and then his birthday just passed on April 7th. And of course, I told him happy birthday, and that unfortunately was our last conversation.
The 2 stayed in touch long after they graduated from Howard High School in 2020. Both ran track, and he also started on the football team. He
just loved to make people laugh, and of course, he also was just very welcoming, and I'm sure, as you can tell, with the community and how so many people have talked about him and posted him, because he had so many friends.
She remembers him as the kind of person who always tried to cheer other people up when they were having a bad day.
It was just really interesting how he was able to be so funny and such a great character, and also, but when it was time, like I said, in the classroom to get his work done, he absolutely did. And so, yeah, he was just a very well-rounded individual.
She says she wants people to know he was so much more than just a shooting statistic. He was a great friend and recently graduated from Reinhardt College, where he continued playing football.
He's touched a lot of hearts, not even just students and classmates and teammates, people like me, friends. I know a lot of teachers at Howard High School have posted him. They are saddened by this.
Reporting in Macon, Celine Arif, 13 WMAZ News.
We are adding Javarcier Meadows to our More Than a Number memorial page on 13WMAZ.com. Our More Than a Number series aims to give a face to the victim, a voice to the family. If someone you know has been the victim of a homicide or tragedy, you can add their information to our family form, which you can also find on our website. You can also text MORE to 478-752-1309, and we'll send our resource guide to your phone. A county spokesperson tells us the county did decide to pull the temporary liquor license from Midtown Daiquiri Bar and Grill. Their temporary liquor license was set to expire in June.
That item will not be handled tonight, so will be pulled from this agenda. and there will be no discussion on that. So anybody that's here to speak on that behalf or be here on any decisions that can feel free to leave at any time.
That was Mayor Miller speaking Tuesday night. Again on Wednesday, they did decide to go ahead and pull the bar's temporary liquor license. The bar's attorney says Midtown management decided to temporarily close the club to focus on employee well-being. He says they will reopen when they decide it's safe. If they do that right now, it looks like they'll do it without a liquor license. Also at commission meeting, Mayor Miller unveiled his proposed 2026 budget. In total, the county has nearly $220 million in their general fund. The mayor plans to increase funding for county departments while keeping the millage rate at 9.9 mils. That means employees will get a pay raise. Plus, public safety, recreation, and other departments will get a budget boost. There will be a public hearing on the budget proposal June 3rd at 5:30, another one on June 17th. Commissioners will vote on the final funding plan on June 17th at 6 p.m. The county also accepted the results of the 2025 SPLOST renewal. In March, voters overwhelmingly approved the $450 million penny sales tax, opening funds over the next 10 years. To kickstart several projects, the county issued up to $100 million in bonds. The county plans to repave roads, improve the Bibb County Jail, and over the next couple of years possibly build a new coliseum. Mayor Miller said each project will come before commission for discussion and approval. And the county put ticket money from school zone speed cameras to use. $240,000 from tickets will fund security cameras at 2 Macon parks. Vercata surveillance cameras will be set up at Cliffview Lake Park and at Frankie E. Lewis Park. Since 2022, the county has taken in nearly $9 million from drivers speeding in school zones. Part of that money has already gone towards funding public safety efforts. We have new video from a graduation shooting that left 1 dead and 2 others injured last weekend. Deputies say they responded to the graduation party on the 1500 block of Williamson Road about 2:30 in the morning on Saturday, May 17th. They found 3 people with gunshot wounds. 25-year-old Jarice Hayward died at the scene. On your screen right now is video from outside the party. 2 other adults were taken to the hospital, 1 with serious injuries. If you have any information on what happened, you can call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME. And with the increase in recent shootings, some violence prevention advocates in the community are making it a goal to try and find a solution. Naomi Washington spoke to one person who says tragedies like what recently happened can't continue.
There are memorials everywhere for people who die for various reasons, but Kiamber Wilson says hearing about people in Macon dying through violence is devastating.
I was born and raised here. I have an 8-year-old son, and when I see incidents like this, it like brings me to tears because it's like my son has to grow up. He's currently growing up here.
Saturday morning, someone opened fire at a graduation party in Macon. 1 person was killed and 2 others were wounded. And on Sunday morning, a mass shooting at Midtown Daiquiri Bar and Grill. 9 people were shot, 3 of them died. Wilson believes youth are the future, and it's time to do something. Wilson met with Bibb County Commissioner Stanley Stewart because she's organizing a prayer event at Macon City Hall.
To see a person that looks like me, a person that's from where they're from, a person that's from the same environments and the same hoods that they're from, to step up and take initiative, I think that's important.
She says that event is Sunday, June 1st at the Macon-Bibb Government Center on Poplar Street at 4 p.m. Reporting in Macon, Naomi Washington, 13 WMAZ News.
The Bibb County Sheriff's Office told us no one has been charged in either that shooting or the one at Midtown Daiquiri Bar and Grill. Again, if you have information on either, you are asked to call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME. On February 11, 2015, Battalion Chief Stephen Stafford was involved in a deadly house fire on Fairview Drive off Rocky Creek Road. The single-story brick home was fully engulfed by the time the first crews arrived. The people inside the home made it out safely, but the fire killed one of their own firefighters. After 2 months recovering, Stafford retired and is now spending a lot of time with his family. Camila Williams spoke with Battalion Chief Stafford and explains how that fire 10 years ago still impacts him today.
When the call came in the evening of February 11th, 2015, Stephen Stafford thought it was an ordinary fire.
Nothing really stood out.
When the Macon-Bibb County Fire Battalion Chief arrived at the brick house on Fairview Drive, everything had escalated.
The fire was in the inside of the house, down in the basement area.
Stafford remembers the fire getting hotter and a fire captain updating him.
Chief, the floor fell in and his men trapped down at the bottom of the floor.
As the fire grew, the rescue became more difficult for the firefighters and for Stafford. He took a risk by removing his breathing apparatus.
I didn't put on a BA because if you have a BA on with the mask, verbally, nobody can understand what you're saying. You can't hear anything.
With dark smoke filling the air, he was determined to get the men out. He says when the other firefighters were safe, only one remained below. That was Lieutenant Randy Parker. Others stepped up to help pull him out.
They really supported me 100% because I was not going to leave the scene.
But Parker later died at a Macon hospital. With the last man out, Stafford was put in an ambulance and sent to the medical center, then to the Augusta Burn Center. He had severe burns on his body and smoke inhalation, putting him at a higher risk. Stafford remembers being transferred and laying in a hospital bed.
I couldn't move my left side.
He had a tube down his throat and couldn't talk, and the doctor's chatter didn't sound good.
And he explained, we're going to have to do that because if you get pneumonia in your body, you're going to swell and you won't be able to breathe.
Remembering it all again, Stafford was overcome with emotion. All he knew was he needed to make it out of this alive.
And I said, Lord, I would like to be here a little longer to help my wife raise the kids and grandkids and take care of my elderly mom.
Many people came to visit him in Augusta. Friends, family, other firefighters. For 2 months, Stafford recovered. He had to learn to stand up, walk, and move around again. But the day came when he could walk down the hall and go home.
That brought big smiles on my face, and looking at all the people that had treated me, seeing them smile and everything.
Now 10 years later and retired, the battalion chief says he suffers PTSD.
I can't be around the fire stations very long because I get tight, I get a phobia.
With family and friends surrounding him, Stafford says not a day goes by where he doesn't think about the colleague he lost, a man who spent 20 years protecting his community.
Lieutenant Parker was just a good guy, good guy.
While February 11th will always be a hard day, he's happy to still be alive and spend it with those closest to him.
I am so grateful, though.
In Macon, Camila Williams, 13 WMAZ News.
Stafford retired right after his 2 months in the hospital. He then worked in real estate and now spends a lot of time with his family. According to the final fire department report, that fatal fire may have been caused by burning trash or electrical cords. Macon-Bibb County recently paid tribute to firefighters, police officers, and deputies who lost their lives in the line of duty. The names of the fallen were read in a ceremony as first responders laid roses next to their memorials. The event marked National Police Week, a time to honor those who make the ultimate sacrifice to protect and serve our communities. Macon is the site of many lights, camera, action moments. Hollywood production companies travel from around the world to use our city as a backdrop. There are also small production companies with roots in Macon. Naomi Washington takes us behind the scenes of a startup company going for the big screens.
In 2019, Macon native Christopher Hughes founded Hughes Imperial Productions. Now they are filming their 4th movie called Trials of Matrimony.
Macon has a bad reputation, everybody thinks it's violent and everything. So we're just trying to change the narrative about bringing something positive to the city.
Hughes takes pride in giving talent from Central Georgia roles in his movies. Zamisha West from Milledgeville has been in all of Hughes' films. She says being a part of this company is a new hobby that took her by surprise.
I never dreamed of being an actress, but I was like, okay, I'll give this guy a chance. He sees something in me that I can't see. So I said, I'll give him a chance.
Whereas Bianca Radford, who lives in Warner Robins, has wanted this shot for a long time.
I told myself, this is my stepping stone to get to the main screen, I just love it all together.
They like to have fun on set, and Hughes says the vision making starts well before they press record.
The way I do it personally, I'll be at work and I'll be talking as each character. So every scene I talk as that character, and I record it in my phone. So once I get home, I'll write it out the way I want it to be written out.
Vasco Sanders, who is president of Hughes Imperial Productions, says they want to show Macon is more than a music town.
Macon has an abundance of over-talented people over here that knows how to act and direct and all of this. So we want to bring Macon to the forefront to let people know, hey, Macon on the map too.
And they are doing that one shot at a time. In Macon, Naomi Washington, 13 WMAZ News.
The Hughes Imperial Productions movies are on Tubi and Amazon Prime. You can also see them on the big screen when they premiere at the Douglas Theater in downtown Macon. Their next movie will debut at the Douglas August 2nd. Downtown Macon isn't just for local film production companies. In 2024, Terminal Station doubled as a set for Warner Brothers' Superman Legacy. The second trailer just dropped, giving fans another look at Clark Kent's journey from small-town Kansas to Earth's greatest hero. It also showcased some locations in Crawford County. And just last week, Hollywood rolled into Macon with the filming of the Paramount Plus series Tulsa King. The drama stars Sylvester Stallone as a mob boss banished from New York to Tulsa. Crew shot scenes at Fatty's Pizza downtown, where fans gathered hoping to catch a glimpse of Stallone. Doug Keane recently moved to Macon and told us he stopped by downtown just to see the action up close.
I think it's fantastic. So part of what drew us to Macon is the excitement downtown, the growth downtown, things like this happening in Macon. I mean, we travel to New York and you see things like this, and now here it is happening in Macon. It makes us so proud to be part of Macon.
No word yet if Sylvester Stallone was actually in town filming any scenes. In education news, Mercer University says a $500,000 grant will help them train more Georgia nurses. Right now, there's a nursing shortage, and not only in the state, but also nationwide. Mercer says they hope to increase the number of nurses graduating from Mercer. Jennifer Fruitiker is Piedmont-Macon's nurse residency coordinator and says she has seen the field get smaller. Fruitiker says when she became a nurse in 1999, there was less of a shortage and burnout wasn't common. Now she says there are always nursing jobs that need filling. She hopes Mercer having a grant will draw more students and nurse faculty to teach and study.
It'll just help produce a more robust pipeline of nurses available to the Middle Georgia area, and hopefully provide hospitals like Piedmont more opportunities to have more nurses available.
Now, the grant comes from a state agency, the Georgia Board of Healthcare Workforce. It will help Mercer buy educational equipment and supplies for its nursing and simulation labs. From higher education to the K through 12 level, a split vote from Macon school board members led to the presented budget failing at a recent hearing. This could push back the 2 public hearing dates already set and a final budget adoption that by law must happen by June 30th. Naomi Washington has a look at the current conversation.
I don't think we can get around raises and our salary schedules if we really want to recruit and retain the best.
Superintendent Dan Sims wants to give all certified employees a 3% raise, implement a salary schedule, and reclassify some positions. However, these expenses and a few unfunded mandates would put the district at a $21 million deficit at the start of the 2026 fiscal year. Board Vice President Daryl Morton has concerns about future finances because of federal funding cuts.
What happens if money we're relying on suddenly gets yanked away, say for nutrition or other federal grants?
To that, CFO Eric Bush says they'll have to quickly adjust the budget. Board member Barney Hester says the district will have to generate more money from taxpayers through a millage rate increase if they don't take safer actions now.
Or do we make cuts now, little smaller cuts, and cuts next year and not bleed so bad? I just have a concern. I have a big concern.
However, Sims says the district is in a good place money-wise because they have reserve funding. School Board President Murtish Johnson stands behind Sims's proposal because Bibb School District employees are leaving for better salaries.
So if we're going to stay in a competitive nature, we've got to step up to the plate.
But still, 4 of the 8 members disagree, including board member Henry Fickling.
I'm glad that this is tentative because we need to look at some other things to reduce this budget, and that is reduce the spending in this budget.
And that is the final note in this week's edition of the Macon-Bibb Beat. If you have a Macon-Bibb County story you want us to share, email us at news@13wmaz.com. And make sure you come back every Wednesday to get all the news and stories that matter to you. Thanks for joining us for your Macon-Bibb Beat.